Hi everyone, welcome back to my Let's Play series on SimCity 4. Today I'm just concluding my series in the city of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So as you can see, this is a very busy district in the city, and I like this a lot because there's a lot of complex transportation around, and the city does look very intricate and beautiful. So as you can see, I'm just beautifying my city, touching up with some nice plazas that I just plot. And as you can see, I'm checking out the various large skyscrapers in my city. So I'm demolishing those that don't look very nice, those repetitive buildings, and also those boring maxis buildings. So as you can see here, you can see the elevated rail system that is prominent in Kuala Lumpur, and also the highways and large commercial buildings that often grow in the city, much like any other city in the world today. So I'm just beautifying the place by putting some trees as well. And many of you have asked about SimCity 5, and I believe some of you have started to play this game, and you wonder why I'm not making any SimCity 5 videos yet. I do apologize for this delay. To be honest, I haven't really bought SimCity 5. I was gonna buy it, but then I realized that there's a lot of news about server issues in SimCity 5, and so I've decided to delay the purchase of the game until the issue is resolved, because in the first place, I'm currently in serving my national service, which is the army, and I do not really have much time to play the game, much less create commentaries. But I'm closely monitoring the situation, and I'm watching many videos of SimCity 5, and I have enjoyed them a lot. So I do look forward to making videos of SimCity 5 in the future. So rest assured, and I hope that I can play with some of you SimCity 5 in the future. I think it'll be a very fun game, because it's all about collaboration and community building. I believe that's what the SimCity 5 producers had wanted to intend this game, to move in that direction. Less like an individualistic SimCity 4 where you just design your own cities. But I believe that the SimCity 5 has lost some complexity, as you can see here, like in the way you design your city and stuff like that. But these are just some shortcomings, because the game is always developing, and I believe they made it more accessible to the masses. So I believe it'll be a great game, and it is a great game, but it is improving, and it has still some server problems that it is rectifying. So I do look forward to the day that there'll be no more laggy servers and problems connecting to the server, and I'll be making videos of SimCity 5 pretty soon, so look forward to that. And right now I'm just demolishing the boring buildings in my city that I don't like, and some of these buildings keep repeating my city, so I do not really like it. I'm hoping that the SimCity 5 have a large variety of buildings for us to eye candy and enjoy, because otherwise the game will be very boring, because you see the same old buildings coming up. So right here, I'm just gonna design the city a bit more by building some commercial buildings. So this is a piece of land that I left for building this commercial building, and as you can see, I'm just finding some place to put it, because when I went to KL, or I always frequent Kuala Lumpur, and I go there with my mom. So I like this hotel. It's the Berjaya Times Square Hotel. So I'm just using some similar looking commercial building to recreate that place. But I found that this district is too small to put the hotel, so I'm just going to build it at some other place later on. So it's been a while since I make commentary videos, and I do miss y'all, and I do agree that my commentaries are not very top notch. I do get some criticism sometimes I do wonder if I should really continue making this series. Of course, there's a lot of people out there that are better than me in doing that, and they make pretty marvelous cities as well. But I guess the interest is still there in making cities. Just that sometimes I do want to slow down a bit because I have a lot of commitments in life, much like most of y'all, and life does feel very hectic as it is for the Sims in this city. Alright, and I just hopefully I look forward to making more videos of SimCity here, and I don't want to disappoint my so-called fans and viewers of people who subscribe to my channel, who like my Facebook page, even though I do feel that there's much to be improved in my commentary and my videos. But I really like to share how I design my cities and how I play SimCity 4, and I feel very thrilled when there's so much support and the things you like about how I design my city and stuff. So I believe that moving to SimCity 5 will be a marvelous thing to do, and I really like the competitive aspect of the new game. I'm a competitive person, much like many of you, and I thought about the industry specialization that they have. So you can actually choose to make your city to be what you want it to be. So maybe I want to make it a petrochemical city, so I can develop much of these industries and make some decent profits for my city and compete with others. And also there's this collaborative aspect of the game SimCity 5 that I've really seen many other YouTube players or even Twitch TV players show. When you can collaborate with many people in the server and then trade power and water. You can chat with them, you can do missions with them, you can like build a building together and stuff like that. So it's pretty marvelous. I look forward to that aspect, and you can make many more new friends. So it's a very awesome game. It's just that there's a lot of server problems that everyone is ranting about. Sometimes I thought that it would be a better choice if SimCity 5 pair up with Steam instead of their own origin. I think that the servers will be less laggy and it will be a better game, if not for the internet problems. It will be a marvelous game actually. So as you can see here right now, I'm just trying to find a decent spot for my much beloved hotels that I like to stay in where I come to Kuala Lumpur. So I can't really find any space. So this will take a while, and as you can see here, every district of my city is filled with buildings. That's what I like, and I've fast forward the video. So right here I found a space for my hotels, the Berjaya Times Square. So I'm just gonna put it. It does look a bit like the hotel, although not exactly like it. So these two buildings shall be the hotels that I stay. And you can see the highways around it and stuff like that. So I like my districts to be filled with complex transport avenues and highways and stuff. It makes the city look more realistic, and it's much like the real life cities where transportation hubs, where there are transportation hubs, and the city looks very complex. So in that aspect, I do regret that SimCity 5 lost that complex aspect when they decided to remove some of the highway options and stuff like that. That the network add-on mod did manage to provide. But I'm hoping that in the future the game will have developments and expansion pack or stuff like that to make us make more realistic and complex cities. And you do realize that where I put so many this type of skyscrapers and plots, the game does lag a bit. So I'm really sorry about that. And so this is my Berjaya Times Square hotel that I adore, and I like to stay in it. And as you can see on the ground floor, I put many parks and swimming pools, much like a hotel. And there's even a tennis court, so it looks very pretty. And the best part is that it's near the Petronas Tower as it should be, so it looks very nice. So this is the Berjaya Times Square shopping center as well. So it's beside a busy highway, and there's many commercial buildings nearby, and there's a small city here also. So right. So as I said, I look forward to the SimCity 5. Just hope that they can make it more complex, but of course accessible for everyone to play. And as you can see here, this is my city. You can see the trains moving around. You can see the highways, the buildings, large commercial buildings, rising all over beside the Petronas Tower that the Malaysian government decided to build. So many private contractors are taking up the free land, and building it because land value are high and many officers want to work in this place. So as you can see, some of the buildings look pretty ugly, so I'm going to demolish them. So when you zoom in, the city does look very nice because there's a lot of complex transportation facilities, which I like about this city, because I purposely spend a lot of time to make all these complex facilities to make the city look more realistic and beautiful. And real cities do look like that, a bit chaotic, because there's so many transportation means to move about the city. So I like the roundabouts as well. That doesn't really exist in SimCity 5. It gives you that sense of aesthetics and beauty, because all the roads are like straight in SimCity 4. But in SimCity 5, the roads are more winding and curved, so you have more options to design your cities into round cities, or I don't know, zigzag, whatever way you like. So it does look nicer. And I forgot something I wanted to say about SimCity 5. Well, I'll tell you where I do think about it. And right here, behind this commercial building, I like to plot these small pieces of commercial district to make it commercial plazas to make it look nicer. And I zone some small commercial zones so that small shops can rise up, much like Kuala Lumpur, where there are many small shops hiding around the city, so that it looks more realistic. So right here, I'm going to expand out the city hall. This is like the the place where Malaysia announced its independence or something like that. So just a very dreamy aspect of my gameplay. Well, much like the Merdeka Square, if I didn't say it wrongly. So there's a large plazas around, and it's a very important place for the government to function and stuff like that. So I have very nice fountains lying around the city. And I do hope that SimCity 5 does have much of these nice civics to place. So I don't know how to say, but sometimes I feel like SimCity 5 is so simplified. It feels like I have less control over the design of the city. Maybe that's partly why I held back to buying it. At first I thought it's a very nice game, but it still is. Sometimes I sound like I'm contradicting myself, but no, it's a great game, but it's just I lost that design aspect that I can't really design my city the way I want it to be. There's lesser options, not there's no option, but you design cities in SimCity 5 with only roads and stuff like that, so it feels like it's lacking in something. It's lacking the various transportation hubs that define many cities. It lacks the variety of community buildings that look unique from each other. It lacks the nice plazas that I can place here that are designed by people, and the different types of architecture buildings in SimCity 4, even though the graphics here are simpler. But as you can see here, every inch of my map is very different and creative and complex because of the various types of buildings and the various types of transportation tools I have and the plazas I have. So as you can see here, I have many nice plazas. I have a clock tower as well. You don't have so many of these type of recreational facilities in SimCity 5, but hopefully there'll be more. But what I like about SimCity 5 is the people and the cars. They look more realistic. Every car and every person is moving to some place, so it looks very realistic and they can tell you what they want. But for them to make this type of changes, like every city has every sim that is doing something, and you can actually monitor the people in the car. It takes up a very complex it takes up a very intense amount of the server data, and when there's so much people playing the server, much like the Steam community, then there's a high tendency for the system to crash and be laggy if it's not very handled properly, like what's happening now. So it's quite regrettable that the servers are down and it takes so long to connect and stuff like that. Sorry, I have a minor sore throat after talking so long. So as you can see here, I'm just going to redesign my commercial hub by putting some commercial zones and just going to plop some plazas to beautify the city. And I realized that SimCity 5 does have recreational facilities, but they are in standard sizes, so there's lesser creativity to where you can put it, and sometimes you can't just plot one by one zone on the, correct me if I'm wrong, like one by one zones on the piece of lands that you have, just to fit them snugly into the shops. So lacking this we are lacking this creative design of the city that SimCity 4 has managed to give us. So as you can see, I'm just going to put some sitting zones and statues and fountains for the Sims to enjoy, which I like to do, so that when you scroll around the city, every part of the city does not look boring at all. But when I look at SimCity 5, it looks very generic because every area does not have this distinctive feel of the buildings that define it, and it looks like every neighborhood is the same. But I do not want it to be that way, because I want every neighborhood to have its own parks, has its own civics, and have its own architectural buildings. So if I'm the SimCity 5 designer, I will retain this creative aspect. I'll retain this creative aspect of the game. And of course, another thing that people complaining about is the small size of the city. So if you have such a map size that's so small, then people won't enjoy it. You can't build large cities, and you don't want to waste your space building a suburb in SimCity 5 because the land spaces are too small. So I heard that city population usually doesn't exceed 100,000, otherwise the game will be very laggy and stuff like that, and because of the map size. So this is quite regrettable to know. But when I play SimCity 5, I guess I'll just overlook those disadvantages of the game, and work to collaborate with people, because that's a fun part. And of course, the specialization of the various industries, I think that's the best part of the game that I've seen so far after watching so many YouTube videos about SimCity 5. And I guess at the start of the game, SimCity 5 does seem a bit boring because you just look at the zones and the houses, and I don't know what to say about it. That's just my own opinion. So I do understand that many of you do like the game. No offense or anything like that. Maybe I'm just too demanding or something like that. But when I scroll around the neighborhoods that or I look at other scroll around neighborhoods that they plot, it does look very boring because the front part of the game, you just focus on providing the needs for your Sims and building boring neighborhoods that don't really have this distinctive feel and the creative architecture that defines it as a very distinct neighborhood. So every neighborhood does look the same. So you end up being focused on the, I don't know how to say, the nitty-gritty details of the city, like the providing of power and water. But in SimCity 4, after doing that, it is very easy to manage the power and water supply needs and stuff like that. So right now I can just focus on designing the city after providing so much needs to my Sims, and my opinion polls are very positive. So as you can see, I'm just going to plop some recreational facilities around and going to enjoy the traffic around, look at the trains go by and pass by the highways and stuff like that. So I guess it feels more like a RPG game. Not really, but the community aspect in SimCity 5. If I want to play the game, I want to play it with many friends so that we can look at each other's cities and compare and enjoy ourselves and stuff like that. So right here, I'm just gonna put some small commercial zones to allow some retail for shopping and stuff like that. So this is like some shopping district of Kuala Lumpur. So what I like about SimCity 4 is actually you can actually make like very distinct districts. Like you can make like lesser density zones for commercial, industrial and residential. I don't think you have that option in SimCity 5. No. I think you have it, I'm sorry. You know, you can create zones of different densities and stuff like that. So as you can see, this is going to be my commercial district in Kuala Lumpur, and I'm just going to provide more options for my Sims to, you know, shop. You know, that's what most people do during the weekends, and offices, small offices, startups to grow. And this is my you know, commercial district and residential district where all the rich people live in. So it looks pretty awesome. And I really like my city a lot because every part of the city looks very distinct and different. You always have something that catches your eye. Like this part have the city hall, you have the plazas, you have the roundabouts and the underground tunnels, like real life, and you have buildings of very distinct architecture. So you know, wherever I have these small plots of land, I'm just gonna like snug in some commercial shops for people to shop and small plazas for people to enjoy. So I do feel very happy, you know, plopping these gazebos and stuff like that. So when I zoom in, there's a lot of eye candy for myself. I think that's what I like, you know, like you have many types of eye candy. You have something that there's a wow factor in each part of the city that you won't get bored of, and you can actually like look around, scroll around the city and feel like this immense sense of satisfaction where you finally design your city to be very different in every district. Like this district will be shopping, and this district will be the commercial office district, and this district will be the suburbs and the housing and the industries. While you know all the complex transport hubs run around. So you know when you zoom in, there's really this intense thrill. You can just imagine yourself being down there and enjoying the shopping, or you can visit your friend's house at this very posh mansion, or drive around a roundabout, or you know, imagine yourself taking the monorail and looking at the sights and the buildings around the city, or just working at the office and coming back home, you know, on the other side of the Kuala Lumpur after a long day's work by taking the monorail and stuff like that. So everyone is like busy moving around, and as you can see, I'm very near my KLCC because of at the top right, at the bottom right hand corner, you can see all the plazas, which is the KLCC district, and this is my Lake Mojo Beach Park, which is my secret hideout for my mayor's house. So sometimes these highways do annoy me because there's a lot of blank holes, so I'm just gonna fill them up with trees to, you know, make my city more efficient and hopefully reduce the pollution by a bit. And I like this huge dome, which is like a stadium of Kuala Lumpur, which is downloaded from SimCty as well. So as you can see here, you know, this city actually took hours to design, and there's a lot of free will for me to put the various transportation means whatever way I like, so that it becomes a very tightly integrated network where, you know, Sims can move around very easily. And when you zoom out, you can see that the Petronas Tower standing out very spectacularly with all the large commercial buildings that are coming up. So I really like it a lot. And in this district, here's the KL Tower, actually a CN Tower, not wanting to be lost, with its equally outstanding group of buildings as well. So whenever there's free plots of land, I give them space to develop smaller commercial shops, much like Kuala Lumpur, where you still have many, you know, less developed districts with shops for the Sims, for the citizens to enjoy. They have many night markets, so I'm hoping that some flea markets do come out, which I will definitely make historical, much like the culture and heritage of KL. You know, they pride themselves for being a shopping heaven. So I want to recreate this aspect of the city. So I know what Kuala Lumpur is like, that's why I can design it so well. I know how complex the transport hubs are. Oh, as you can see here, there's a flea market, so I really like it a lot. It does look like the night markets in Kuala Lumpur. So, you know, besides the large offices that people work in, you also have like the posh residences, the condominiums and stuff like that. So, and also the nice plazas that Sims can walk around, and of course the University of in Kuala Lumpur. So here's the flea market. Alright, so I'm gonna make it historical. And the best part is it is along a very busy avenue in Kuala Lumpur. So it does give the characteristic and the culture of the city. And you know, moving around this city is not easy because it's very complex, and after being there for so long, I still don't understand how the roads work. There are many roads and they wind around everywhere. So you can easily get lost if you don't know your way. But you know, the taxi driver is the most skilled in Kuala Lumpur. They move around with such dexterity and diligence, and they know where the small avenues, the streets are. You know, they can get you to the place very easily. But in the past, you know, my parents and I used to get hoaxed by them. Used to get conned by them. I mean, you know, because you know they overcharge our fee, and then they move around these highways very cunningly just to earn more money from passengers. But nowadays, there's lesser of these things. So actually, they are very hardworking lot of people, much like most of us. So as you can see here, I just gonna build like one piece of commercial plot just to have one shop coming out of nowhere. And this part, the monorail actually bends in quite a tight and awkward position. So you know, there's a lot of work for the train operators. And you know, when I take the monorails in KL, they're actually very congested. And you know, many people are taking it before and during peak hours to get home and get to work. So you know, I can understand their pains because Singapore is in a very similar position where there's a lot of people and more people are coming in, there's more immigrants. So you know, sometimes the traffic infrastructure is being taxed to its limits. So there's a lot of people in the various train stations every day. The highways are clogged up and there's a lot of problems, but much like any other large city. So when I zoom out, you can see the macro view of the city, and there are some funny buildings that not showing up where I zoning my trees now. So I'm just going to demolish them and hopefully fix it in the future. Alright, so this is not coming up pretty well. It's supposed to be a very nice building. I guess I missed out some dependencies from the Simtropolis website or the Sim for Exchange website. So all these blank pieces of land where the road can't reach, I'm going to put some trees to beautify the city. So this city is very dense, so it's pretty taxing on my computer. So I can understand why, you know, the SimCity 5 servers are taking such a big hit, because you know, of the intensity of the graphics and the players playing. And you know, like the server is holding up like hundreds of thousands of players to play the game at one time. So I'm just gonna build a museum to elevate the demands of the population and also to ease the requirements. I mean, to, you know, ease the demand and hopefully increase the education levels so that more skyscrapers can come out. So this is a very busy district as well. Just gonna put some libraries to make the neighborhood more distinct and unique, and more reports are coming up, so just gonna ignore them. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like try to slot a main library, a large public library in the heart of KL, so that it does look more pretty. And of course, I'm not gonna let the 1x3 zone be used up badly. I'm just gonna put some decorations to make it look nicer, much like many public buildings in big cities where they have some nice public spaces for people to enjoy, like government buildings like the library and so on and so forth. So this library is working out pretty well, and it will help me to, you know, boost my education levels after it has dropped to such a low level in months or years. So as you can see here, much of the education levels around KL is pretty low. I don't know why. I funded my schools pretty well, so maybe I do need some different types of educational facilities for the older Sims and stuff like that, so that they can, you know, hopefully get better jobs, and there'll be a high demand for high tech and high commercial wealth officers. So just browsing around my city to look at all the hospital and admiring the busy parts of each and every of my city. So if you have seen, like, I'm just going to like annex some ordinances that I usually do, and at the the middle right of my city, you can see some cars driving into the parking lot of my building. It looks pretty nice, amazingly. I always thought that, you know, this type of buildings don't accept cars, but here they do. So it looks pretty funny actually. So the education levels are dipping. I hope that it can be rectified. And the bus stops are working very well. And this roundabout is eye candy because it is a three-way roundabout, but actually only 2 lanes are being used. And when I zoom out, I can look at all the roundabouts in a very clear fashion. I can look at the highways and the elevated rails. And before I go, just going to show you the night view of my city. I just hope you all enjoy it, and hope you all like my videos. I'll be back with more videos, hopefully with SimCity 5 videos. Do look forward to it, and hope to see you all soon. Thank you.